What is up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here, and we are back in the world of Smite. And this is a game that's kind of growing on me. It's actually kind of making me rethink my massive hatred of MOBAs. And I wouldn't necessarily say I have a hatred for MOBAs. I more have a hatred for the MOBA community. I actually kind of like MOBAs. It's just, unfortunately, you have to play with other people, and in most MOBAs, the people that you have to play with make Hitler look like a nice person. So it's been challenging. To give you a little bit of background, I started playing the original Dota many moons ago, back for probably before many of you were even born, way back in, God, I don't know, maybe 2004, I want to say, maybe 2005, maybe even earlier than that. I don't remember exactly when Warcraft 3 came out and when Dota came out, but it was a long time ago. It was before League of Legends came out. And we played, JJ and I played for about, I want to say a year. And then League of Legends came out. Well, I stopped playing, and then League of Legends came out. And then we played League of Legends pretty much religiously for 2 years. And then I kind of got tired of it and stopped playing. And then JJ and my buddy Rob, they continued playing. And I just kind of got disillusioned with them. When Dota 2 came out, I gave it a go. I enjoyed Dota 2 a lot more than I liked League of Legends. But just not enough to really get into it. And you know, with these games, especially with, you know, what I do for YouTube and such, to get good at these games, you really got to put a lot of time and effort into them, and it only works if you know, you've got the time to put in. And unfortunately, I don't really have the time to put in unless it's something that my community likes. So we're going to try something on a trial basis, and the way this is going to work is we're going to do the A to Z of Smite. And the way it's going to work is I'm going to do each one of the heroes in each category. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to search gods. We're going to do not mastered, and I'm going to press A, and then I'm going to pick one of these A's, and then I'm going to cover that hero. We're going to play a couple games, and I'm going to start off playing shitty, and then I'm going to show kind of the highlights of some of my games and kind of go over how I use the character. And, you know, kind of, I'll give you like a first impressions of the character, and then I'll give you guys like the final conclusion. Because obviously, first impressions of a character, when I look at a character, you know, like let's say I'm looking at Agni. Now, I've got some playtime with Agni, but you know, it'd be like, you know, he's a mage. He's probably going to be squishy. I'm going to need to stay back, you know, get some punch, get some items up, and hopefully I've got some escapes and I can get away. So you know, I'll kind of cover the character, talk about his skill set and his play style and how I think it will play. Then I'll show a game where I play with that character for the first time, and then I will show the final game when I'm going to master that character. And by master that character, I mean master it to level 1, which isn't really mastering. It's maybe about 10 to 15 games with a hero. So it's not necessarily becoming amazing with that hero, but it is kind of getting a decent idea of their play style, maybe builds that will work, and you know, and just how to use the character. And the reason I'm doing this is twofold. Usually when I come to a new MOBA, especially one with as many, you know, heroes or champions or gods or, you know, whatever the hell you want to call it, I mean, this is a pretty decent number of gods. I don't know, maybe 40, maybe 50. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's about 62 gods. That's a lot. And the problem that when you get into one of these MOBAs is you don't know what any of these guys do. So you may pick your character, and then you may actually be able to learn and get a decent understanding of that character fairly quickly, but you're not going to know what this guy does or what this guy does. You know, you may know how to play your character, but if you're laying in against Hercules, what can Hercules do? Well, I don't know. You know, I have no idea. You don't know what his ult is. I don't know what he does. And the problem with that is you make mistakes, you know, like maybe the guy's got a stun and you don't realize that, and so you step into range thinking you're going to be able to blast him down, and then he stuns you and you're screwed. So what I usually do when I get into these games is I usually just random over and over and over again until I finally stop getting heroes that, one, are in my lane that I don't know what they do, or that I'm playing and I don't know what they do. And usually at that point, you've got a pretty good idea of who the good characters are and who the bad characters are, because usually these games have what you call a tier list. And in the tier list, you have, like, okay, let me show you guys an example. And this is one of the reasons I do like Smite. Is Smite's got everything broken down. You got assassins, warriors, guardians, mages, and hunters. Assassins are your squishy characters that do a shit ton of damage. They're designed to, I know this is gonna be crazy, assassinate. Okay, so they jump in, they do their damage, and then hopefully either they kill the opponent and are out of danger, or they can escape and are out of danger. They're not somebody who's gonna go toe to toe. Warriors, from what I understand, these are the tanks. These are the big beefy dudes who can do some damage, but it's more about survivability with these guys. These guys are hard to kill. They're able to get up in your face, and they basically, usually in other games, are kind of like the initiators, from what I understand. So this guy goes in, starts the fight, and then the assassins and the mages come in. Now, Guardians, from what I understand, these are the support characters. They're kind of like the other ones, but these guys also usually have some form of heal or some kind of trick to save other people. So these guys are usually, and I may be wrong about these roles, but this, again, first impressions, new to Smite, this is my general understanding. So if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me in the comment section below. I am not a master of Smite. But these characters, from what I understand, they're usually support characters. Like Ares, he's got a lot of slows, and he can actually yank people. I know this little snake dude, he can heal. Sylvanas, I honestly don't understand the purpose of Sylvanas. He's kind of got a heal. I don't like this guy. I may just not know how to play him, but I do not like this character. I had to play this guy a couple times today because of randoming, and not a big fan. Most of the rest of these guys, I know Ymir, he's got Frost. He's basically got ability to throw up a wall. He's got ability to stun. He's got ability to snare, and I don't know what the rest of these guys do. Mages, they're going to be DPS. In League of Legends, mages are usually good early on, but they suck late game. In Smite, at least in my experience so far, these guys are pretty much good the entire game. Some of them are late bloomers, like they require a shit ton of items before they kick in. And some of them can kill you pretty early on, like Anubis. That guy's just broken. Well, I mean, he's probably not broken. He's badass. He's one of my favorite gods. Granted, all of his abilities require him to stand still and channel, but he does a ridiculous amount of damage. This is my highest kill ratio character right here. I love this guy. Love him to death. And then finally, you've got the hunters. These are, if you're playing League of Legends or Dota 2, these are your AD carries. They're basically, they beat you to death with some form of weapon. So they usually stack damage as opposed to magic damage, which would be on your mages. They stack physical damage usually. There may be a magical carry in here as well, but usually they rely on auto attacks, crits, or attack speed, and they just drop bombs. And these guys are usually your late games. They're called carries because they carry the team to victory. So these guys usually suck balls at the beginning of the game, but you know, after 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes, depending on which MOBA you're playing, these guys, as long as they have gotten quote unquote fed, then they do some pretty badass damage, and at that point are a real monstrosity to deal with. So what we are probably going to do is I will probably do one of two ways, and this is the intro video here to this series. So again, I'm going to let you guys kind of make the choice here. We can do this one of two ways. Now, my first idea with the heroes was, now I do have a few mastered characters, so we won't be doing any of the mastered characters. So these are the only 4 that I've mastered. Janus is awesome. I like him a lot. He's actually a top tier mage. Anubis. Oh, and I forgot to mention the tiers. Remember earlier I was talking about the tier lists? With mages and assassins and all these different characters, you've got good people in these roles and you've got bad people in these roles. So like for mages, you know, you've got Agni, he's pretty good. Anubis, I don't see him. I've never heard of him in the tournaments, at least the one that was recent. So there's probably a problem with him. But Agni is good. Janus is good. Scylla is good. I've heard some people talking about Vulcan, but I don't know if that's trolling or not. Hell's okay. But a lot of these guys are really, some of them are good, some of them are bad. So like, you know, Agni and Janus, they'd probably be top tier, while, you know, Ra, newbie friendly character, but may not be so good in the top tier games. So usually the top tier ones are hard to play and the low tier ones are easier to play, but usually this guy will outperform this guy. Now, granted, I'm not saying I'm just throwing those two examples out. Again, not very familiar with Smite, so I don't really know the top tier characters from the low tier. I know a few top tier characters because I did watch the World Series this year of Smite. Enjoyed that a lot. And I kind of know some of the ones that at least the pros consider top tier. So anyways, here's how we can do the series. With the Not Mastered series, the A to Z challenge, basically what we would do is we would sort everything alphabetically. And then we would pick an A character, and then the next video we would do a B character. So we'd basically come up here, press A, and then we just pick one of these guys. Now, it has to have A as the first starting letter, which is fine. So Bacchus wouldn't count, but Agni or Apollo, Arachne, all of those would work. Once we complete that character and we master him, we do an intro video and then we do an outro video, then we would move to Bs and we would do, you know, like Bacchus or Bakasura or Bastet or whatever. And we just kind of work our way through all the letters. Now, obviously, not all of the characters will have a letter. So, you know, there may not be a D hero or champion. There may not be a Z hero or champion. So if there isn't any of those, we skip that one and we move on. And so we kind of just work our way through there. So we can do it that way, or we can do it another way, in the way where we do all of the A's. So for instance, we pull up the A's and we do Agni, and then we do Ah, and then we do Anher, and then we do Aokong, and we just work our way down the list, knocking all of the A's off. And then when we're done with all the A's, we move to the B's and the C's, etc., etc. Both of them have their upshots. The nice thing about either of the ways we do these, as long as one group doesn't have like all one letter, then we'll be fine. It does look like most of these have a fairly decent blend of letters, so we're not going to end up with doing all warriors if we do A, B, and C, you know, etc., etc. So it'll give us a nice, decent way to bounce around from different play styles. And the cool thing about it is I will learn the game in the process. So like right now, I would say I'm a beginner player of Smite. I'm an intermediate player to slightly advanced MOBA player. You know, I know the details. I played him for a couple of years, but I am no means an expert or really good at the game. And there's a lot of mechanics and there's a lot of items in Smite that I simply don't know. I don't know the builds. You know, right now I'm using default item builds and default character builds. With this series, I will start using the default item builds and default character builds with the first video, and then by the last video where we master the character, I will attempt to have a more specific challenge, so to speak. And then the way we're probably going to work these out is the first game that I do will be most likely in Joust in a 3v3 environment, and then the final one will probably be Conquest. If you guys would like, I could do both of them in Conquest. It just kind of depends. I kind of like all of the game modes here, unlike League of Legends, where I kind of detest the other game modes. I do like Smites. You know, I like Joust a lot. Arena's okay, and Conquest is fun. Not such a big fan of Assault, because that one seems a little weird to me, but Joust is probably my favorite. That being said, the whole point here is basically for me to learn the game, learn the heroes, and this seems to me the best way to do it. Plus, I might be able to help some of you guys out, show you guys some of the heroes that you may not have played yourselves. And if you've never taken a look at Smite yourself, then you may choose to do so. Now, this series is going to be view dependent, so that means if we get 30 people watching this series every week when I do the video, then it's probably not going to make it to Z. If there seems to be some good turnout and you guys do seem to be interested in this, then I will continue on with this series. One other thing I do want to let you guys know, if you have not gotten Smite already, Smite is a free-to-play game. You will notice down in the video description there is a link. If you click on that link, it will take you to the Smite website where you can sign up for the game. If you choose to do so through my link, full disclosure, I do get something for that, so keep that in mind. So I am doing this because I enjoy the game, but there is also a little bit of revenue that comes in for the series as well, so keep that in mind. So just want to be completely open and honest. Anytime I am getting a benefit for playing a game, that way you guys know, when my opinions may or may not be swayed financially. That being said, the financial swaying is very small, and if I don't like a game, unless they're paying me like $100 grand, I'm probably not gonna like it, and you're gonna probably be able to tell pretty easily. So, and we're not making anything like that on this one. So, this is just a game that I enjoy. Several of you guys have pointed out on the stream that you guys would like to see. At first, I didn't think I was gonna like it, but over time, it's kind of grown on me, and I figure, what the hell? Let's go ahead and do a series. So, anyways, guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Let me know which of the two methods you guys would like to see done. Do you want me to go A, B, C, D, E, one tune per letter? Or would you like me to do all the A's, all the B's, all the C's, etc.? Either way is fine with me. If we do A, B, C, D, E, I will probably just pick a champion at random and we'll go that route. Once again, we will start with an initial impression of the hero. We will use the default item builds, and I will play the first game, or most likely the first game I've ever played on that hero. There's a few heroes that I have played before, so I'll at least have some of them that I'll have a feel for. And then once I've got a good feel for the character and we get close to Master, I will show the kind of like the actual way the character's supposed to be played. It'll be kind of interesting to compare the two videos. The first video, I may have been incorrect on certain things, and on the last video, I may still be incorrect on certain things. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what you guys have to say about those. So anyways, this is going to be a new series that we may or may not keep on the channel. We're going to give it a shot, see how it goes. And I'm mainly just looking for feedback from you guys. This isn't going to replace any of the other series on the channel, so if there is a series on the channel right now that you enjoy, don't worry. That series isn't going anywhere, most likely, unless I've told you otherwise. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Once again, if you haven't got the game yet and you'd like to, click that link in the video description. Don't forget to tell me what you guys would like to see in the comment section below. If you like this video or are excited about this series, please slap that like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.